Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Sean Kelly at Santa Barbara City College, and I'm here tonight to tell you about how to track Mars for 9 months. We're going to be tracking between June 1st, 2020 and March 1st, 2021. And during that period, we're going to see Mars go retrograde. So this is an activity that you need to be doing for the lab. And this is especially for the people who do not have the downloaded version of Stellarium and are instead using Stellarium-Web. You can do the job just fine, okay? So I'm gonna show you all the steps you need to take to successfully watch this happen. So normally you wanna know that Mars is gonna move towards the east through the constellations, and this is called prograde motion, but again, for a little period of the year, the period of the cycle, it's going to go towards the west. It's called retrograde motion. You're going to see this happen on the sheet. This worksheet is essentially just a map, and we're going to be bubbling in the location of Mars for the next, for 9 months, for a 9-month period. Okay, so let me show you how you do that. So we're going to go to Stellarium-Web, and Stellarium-Web is a wonderful program, very useful program. And so here's Stellarium-Web. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the ad over here by closing it right here. I don't need that. And then let's see, there's a couple of things I want to do. First thing I want to do is turn off the ground. If you scroll down to the bottom, it says landscape. Just click that and the landscape goes away. Right next to it, you'll see the word atmosphere. Just click that and it goes away. Now I don't have to worry about the atmosphere or the ground. And then the next thing up, I want to go over here to my clock, and I want to, first of all, pause the clock. And then I want to go back to the 6/1, our first date, 6/1, okay, 6/1. All right, so I've got the date set up. The time, don't worry about that, because now that I've turned off the ground and the atmosphere, you'll be able to see it anyways. And so I'm just going to go right here, and sorry, there's one more thing. You want to turn on the constellations right here. I forgot that, constellations. And then one more thing, the equatorial grid is the celestial sphere, okay? And turn that on. Okay, so now I've got everything I need. Okay, so now I'm going to go up to the search bar and I'm going to type in Mars. Okay, so where was Mars on June 1st? And I press Mars. Oh, you got to click the Mars. Okay, there it is. Woo! Okay, we found it. Yay. Okay. So we can zoom in a little bit. This is actually about the right zoom level. You don't want to zoom too much and too little, but about this level, I think, is what I've got. This is going to match the picture on the worksheet. Okay, so I want to take a look right here. It looks like Mars begins in the constellation of Aquarius. And so there's this little kind of corner here that got segmented, and Mars is right there. So when I go back to my worksheet, I'm going to try to find that location. And so let's take a look right here. The location is right next to, here's the section right here. Do you see the little corner? And if you look really carefully, you can see a star, and I'm going to put that dot right there. There's the first dot, and I'm going to label it 6/1. That was the first date. Now, my picture doesn't look exactly the same as the one in Stellarium. So when you go back to the Stellarium, you say to yourself, I don't like it. It's too crooked. It's crooked. It turns out that if you click on the time, if you change the time, you can change the orientation, okay? And so that, if you don't like the way it looks, try rotating it a little bit, okay? And now it looks kind of more like what I have. Actually, not quite. There's more like what I have. I think I have it tilted a little bit like this. Okay. All right. So what are we going to do? We're tracking Mars for the next 9 months. So what I'm going to do is start advancing time. Now, I'm not going to do every day. That's too much. But I'm going to go about a week at a time. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So what did you notice? Mars moved this direction. This, by the way, is eastward. And this is called prograde motion. So if you notice, there's some stars right here. There's little clues. So when I go back to my paper, it's right next to the middle of these 3 brighter stars right here. So if I go look right here, you can see I've got 1, 2, 3 stars. It's going to be right around there somewhere. Okay. And so I'm not going to label that one. I'm just putting the dot there. Okay. And that's fine. Okay. So then I did a week, and let me go back to my sheet, my Stellarium again. And so we're going to move forward another week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now, actually, I want to see like here, by the way, up here, just above is the constellation Pisces, the fish. I don't need this window actually. It's Pisces, the fishes. And you can see the artwork if you want to put that on. Okay. And I'm zoomed in too far. Here we go. I'm below this one fish right here. And I'm in this square where I started, right? But it looks like I'm kind of in the middle of the square this way, but a little bit to the left of the middle horizontally. Okay, so I'm going to try to bubble that in. Again, don't worry about being perfect. This is just giving us the right idea. Okay, so we're just having fun here. We're trying to track Mars for 9 months. And so I want to look, let me look at the sheet again. And you can see I put in the third bubble, the third dot. Now, I don't want to label each one because it turns out at some point they're going to get kind of close together. But every 4, let's say, so 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one, I would label the date. And that way it's going to give me give me a good idea of how the date is changing as Mars is progressing. And so you're going to be able to see Mars be prograde, and then at some point is going to go retrograde. Make sure that you include very carefully the date that it begins to go retrograde right here, and then when it ends the retrograde motion. So in addition to our beautiful picture when we're done, we're going to also have some data on the date that it begins retrograde and ends retrograde. Okay, and that is it. If you have any questions, send me an email. I'm happy to help you. But basically, you're just going to keep going the way that I just started. All right, have a good evening.